Okay, eighth grade. Last year with me or with Miss Baylin, you dealt with something called 1 point perspective. Perspective is the way we see things visually with our eyes. Things that are close are bigger than things that are really far away, which is why you can cover the moon with your thumb at night. It's also why certain lines in buildings look like they actually come together when in real life they are parallel and will never meet each other. Picture yourself on a railroad track. You look at the two rails, they go off into the distance, eventually they look like they meet. So, what I want you to do here, okay, we're just going to review what you did last year real quickly. All right, so I want you to draw a square as best as you can. No big deal. Freehand. No ruler needed. And then another square here. Okay. Again, this is review. This is what we did last year. But you're going to get credit for doing it. And then I want you to put a small dot in the middle. This is going to be called the vanishing point. And what I want you to do is take your ruler and I want you to connect the three corners that are closest to that dot, if you can. So we know that this one's pretty close, nice and light. These are called guidelines. Not seeing a whole lot of that part because of where this square is. And then we do that. And then to finish it, you just draw a line straight down and a line straight across, and you made yourself a box. This is, because there's only 1 point perspective. So make sure you write that down. And then you can do the other one as well. 1, 2, 3. Parallel line, parallel line. Okay? And again, this is 1 point perspective because there's only 1 point, one vanishing point. All right? Now, flip your card over now that you've done this. I want you to write 2 point perspective at the top. And this time, I want you to put a dot over here. This is one vanishing point. I'm going to put a VP there. But I want you to put a second dot over here. That's our other vanishing point. There are 2 points. We call them vanishing points because just like this, it looks like everything just kind of goes and goes and goes until it disappears or vanishes. Now, the difference between 1 point and 2 point is we started with a shape on this side of the card. On this side, we're going to do something a little different. What I want you to do is draw yourself a nice straight up and down line here. Notice that it is above this dot and this dot. Then I want you to draw one down here. And then I want you to draw one right through the middle like this. Okay? Now, the way this works is you take this line and you connect the top and the bottom to the vanishing points very lightly. We will be erasing parts of this line, so we want to draw lightly. So there's the top and bottom to that dot. Now, I'm ignoring anything else in the middle of the paper. I'm not worried about that because, no, I'm going to draw right through it for now. Now I'm going to do the other side. 1 and 2. So now we have a side and a side that look like they go on forever and ever. So we have to finish them. To do that, line up your ruler with the first line you made, slide, 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 make a parallel line on one side like that, and then Line up your ruler, slide it over, make a parallel line like that. Now we have sides to our box. Then we have one more step. I call it the crisscross step. Again, I'm not worried about these two lines right now. I am going to connect this bottom of this line to that vanishing point, like that, nice and light. And then I'm going to do the same for this line over to here, like that. Now my box is finished. I can erase what I don't need. So that is the extra parts of the lines that are no longer part of our little box that we made. That's why we draw light. And if you erase too much, you can always just bring that piece of line back and make it darker. Okay, so there is our first box. Now I'm going to do this one. Now this one is a little bit easier. We're still going to connect the top and the bottom of the line to both vanishing points. Like so. Then we're going to make our parallel lines. Line it up with the first line you did, slide it over, boom. Line it up with the first line you did on this side, slide it over, boom. These have to be parallel. They should not be crooked. Okay? Now, we can't see the top or the bottom of this box because of where it's sitting. Okay? So we don't have to do anything else to this one except get rid of the extra lines. And there is your second box. Now this last one is a lot like the first one we did. So again, we are connecting the top and bottom of this line to both of those dots. Nice and light. Way over to here. Like that. Then we make our sides. Parallel lines. 1, 2. And now we got to do our crisscross thing like we did at the top one. Okay, so the top of this line will go to that dot. That. And then the top of this line will go to that dot. The lines cross one another. Like that. And there's our box. It's done. We can erase what we don't need. And you have just learned a very basic way of drawing in two-point perspective. And you can move on now to the main project, which is called our French fry project. And that is also in your Google Classroom. Make sure you get your name on this. You're going to hand it in with your project later.